looks nice.
Was the stream up?
Yeah, with the new.
I'm not seeing it.
It just like popped on, so it might take a second depending on your connection.
Yes, it was. It was. How's everybody doing tonight? We're about to get started. We're down a couple, but, we're just going to get going and push on through. Map unrelated. All right. Of the folks here, just an FYI, for any of you who don't have it in there, open up your character sheet and hop on down to the Notes tab. Make sure your appearance section is filled out, preferably with a good amount of detail as to what would be seen from shoulders up, as those descriptions need to go to the artist tonight after the game. And I need to get my bot running here. So while I'm doing that, why don't Miss Song roll me a D100?
Okay. I assume I'm good because I already have art that he can use.
Yes, you're good.
Okay.
I have Shadow, Delphine, if you could do yours, and I don't have Valra's sheet up. It's all right. I just wanted
I'm
to get it
working
out
on mine
tonight.
right now.
It's a pretty good artist. They do. It's a little bit
Mine's good.
kind of cartoony style. But I think it'll be fun. Okay, 51 is where we're at. Let's see what's going on. 51, which is in the development notes. You have already answered that one. The question was, what is something that gets under your skin?
Oh, yeah.
Roll again.
All right.
Reroll.
Hey, what is... all right.
Damn.
What is something that reminds you of home?
Reminds you of what? Was the last
Home.
word? Okay.
That's you, Miss Song. What's up?
Oh.
All right. So how are you all doing tonight out there in Viverland? Thank you for the follow, J
I
Turn.
would say...
And the sub. I appreciate that so much, man. Thank you for your support. I do not have an events
Probably the
thingy
smell
up yet.
of
Brand new overlay. Sorry about that. That is on the
well-spiced
to-do list.
dry rub meats. Like, I'd have to go and look up some particular spices off the top of my head. Some spice combinations. Not sure right
Like
now.
heavily spiced, though.
Yeah, like...
Like I'm almost thinking like
heavily spiced dry rub
Indian
meats.
spiced meat type thing. Is like describe the ethnicity of the cuisine you're thinking of. The
Okay.
the real world equivalent. Or maybe tell me the smells that come to mind.
Yeah, I guess I'd probably say... Yeah, like an Indian type of spice would be good. So the kind of stuff you'd find in like a, kind of like a tandoori or like a tikka masala or something like that. Like that kind of spice blend. Except instead of like a sauce and like a curry, we'll say like back home, for Miss Song, it was kind of more of a dry rub into the cured meats and then roasted instead of a curry like they would do with like Indian food here. But
Okay.
That same sort of like flavor profile.
All right.
Spicy.
Valra?
Mushrooms. There was always mushrooms growing around the outside of the house, her childhood house, and her mother would always collect them, and Valra would prepare them with her mother, and the sight of mushrooms, smell of mushrooms reminds her of home.
Thank you. Delphine?
I would say the forest, but not just like any forest, like especially old trees and like overgrown, thick undergrowth.
Old growth forest.
Reminds her, yeah, reminds her of where she.
Thank you. Shadow?
I'd say kind of like a gentle rain. Kind of like how you see in like the videos of like the rainforest.
Yeah.
Soft little rains. Nothing big, nothing crazy.
Okay. How about you, Ander? You with us, bud? Hunter, what reminds you of home? That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
Are these guys just ignoring me?
Alright, I think I got everything up and going.
Well, while Hunter's thinking then, Ander, tell me what reminds you of home.
Define home.
You define home for Ander. And tell me what reminds you of it. Home is different for everyone. I do need to get that alerts thing set up. I will.
I mean, so I guess Andrew's definition of home is you know, out in, you know, the forest and the wilds. You know.
So, like, the really wild places remind him, like, that's where he feels at home?
Yeah. Doing his ranger stuff.
Okay. Digging for cave carrots.
Exactly.
Okay, Hunter. We cannot hear you, so I don't know if you're with us or what.
Hunter posted in Discord that.
Okay. Cool beans. Who wants to give us a rundown of last session?
Oh, I can. I just finished writing my
That's not the right
Valra's
map.
journal entry for it, so we went to Fireshear and
Is
we
that the right one?
learned
boy.
how to
Nope.
ride griffins. And then big old boat came in the harbor and a bunch of giants attacked. We had a pretty cool battle where most of us were on griffins. We killed a couple giants and the rest retreated, and some of us are about dead.
Yeah, it
TLDR,
got
fuck
dicey.
giants.
There were a lot of giants. And they hit
Yes.
very hard.
Yeah. Yes, they did.
They did.
I think they downed Ander like
Twice. Yeah.
So let's talk about that, cause you were pretty close. I like your notes. You had a lot of it there. Just one thing here, and that was the Giants retreated, which isn't quite where we're at right now. Where we're picking up, you guys have killed the 3 giants that were nearest you. You have, a couple griffins are near you. I don't think any of them died. Your trainer is up in the air, and now in these moments you see these the remaining giants, and you look and you count out 9 of these guys make their way slowly, grabbing several items. You see, a couple of them have people under their arms. They're screaming, and they make their way down to their longship, and they get on as the guard is trying to fire arrows and do what they can. But these are giants, and so the longship slowly pulls out. Do you guys do anything like while this is happening, while the giants are making their way there, or are you guys just kind of getting your bearings after a tough fight?
If I remember, Valra at least was unconscious when we ended last.
Yeah, that sounds right.
That is
Was there
correct.
anybody else that was?
I don't think so. I think we got Andrew back up for the second time.
I'm missing a bit, but I mean, a short rest could fix that. However, my spells, I think I went pretty heavy.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, yes, I did. I got a few tricks up my sleeve, but it could get dicey if we find too much more trouble. What happened to the other giants? Are they still around? Did you say?
So they make you look, Daphne, and you see this longship. Several, quite a few oars go over the sides, and they begin rowing backwards. And these mammoth tusks disengage from this now sinking little skiff that was in the harbor, and the the white dragon skin wings sails unfold, and it begins making its way backward and out to sea.
Well, I hope it sinks.
Yeah, I'd say my song would also be just kind of watching it go, but not chasing after it for fear of the state of the party.
Okay.
Probably a great idea.
So Valra's unconscious. I mean, what are you guys doing about the state of the party right now?
Yeah, let's see here.
Clocks are ticking.
Well, who was all hurt? So, if Valor's unconscious, who all was hurting? Really bad?
I'm hurting. I mean, I'm at 29 of 40.
Okay,
Ander's not doing good at all.
that's right. Okay. I will. Go ahead and cast Catnap. No, wait, I gotta target these guys for that.
Catnap.
Where are you guys at on here? Okay, so it's targeting see shadows hurting,
Better make it quick, Void. The party needs you.
and Anders hurting, and Valra is unconscious.
What do you got?
Okay, so I will cast Catnap on those three. Which what this does is I'll drag it into the chat. Yeah. Come on. Drag in the chat.
There you go.
There we go. So yeah, so these three fall
Will do, Storm.
unconscious, and yeah, as long as they stay asleep for 10 minutes, they have the benefits of a short rest.
Okay. And you gave it to those three.
Correct. Yeah. So when they wake up, so as long as they it ends early if they take damage or if someone slaps them awake. But if they stay asleep for these 10 minutes, when they wake up, they have the benefits of a short rest. So the spell slots, the healing, or whatever the heck.
So I think technically a short rest is that one hit die, or is it just as many as you want on a short rest? I usually do just as many as you want. So, though you three that are wounded, you Miss Song takes out this hurdy-gurdy, and he begins playing this tune. Miss Song, roll me a percentage die. And let's hope it's not in the top 3%. Okay. So Miss Song, plays this tune. Ander, Shadow, Valra. Valra's unconscious as is, but she slips deeper unconscious. Shadow and Ander, you both kind of nod off. 10 minutes later, passes in an instant to you three, and Miss Song stops plucking at this hurdy-gurdy. It's not really plucking that you do to that, but anyway.
No.
Cranking on the... Miss Song finishes cranking it out, and you three wake up. So you can roll... you each have 6 hit die. So you can go ahead and roll... up to 6 hit die to heal your wounds. You can do that by on the main tab of your character sheet. At the very bottom in the middle, it says HD, and then there's a little number. You click on that, and it should heal you up. And then take one away.
Happy nap time.
Anybody who wants to nap gets to nap?
Well, it's 3. It's 3 that I choose.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's just kind of a free, short rest in a small amount of time that I can apply to people. I feel
How
like
often do hit dice get?
When does it keep saying
Because you're not wounded, man.
what?
Your first one healed you completely.
Oh, nice.
You were down just 8 or 9 hit points.
Oh yeah, I think there was a spell that was cast right toward the end that healed a few of us for 30-something hit points.
Oh yeah, I did channel divinity.
Yeah, that's what it was. So yeah, that brought Ander up a good bit.
Forgot about that.
But at least everyone's doing a bit better now. So
How often do the hit die for that? How often do they get replenished?
I'm in a long rest for those.
On a long rest, we use alternate rules on a long rest. The alternate rule being, or for long resting, the alternate rule being basically the more comfy the bed, the shorter I'll make the rest. Usually they're no longer than like 7 or 8 days. If you're going cross country and you're like sleeping in the woods and shit, without magical assistance and stuff, you're gonna be a little stressed out and you're not gonna get your complete rest, which doesn't totally kill you, but that's when you get them back. Is after one of those completes. Right now you're staying in an inn, so if you sleep through the night, it'll be a long rest. So 10 minutes has passed. What do you guys do after this 10 minutes?
Probably go around a little bit and kind of assess the damage to the town, or if people are stuck under stuff, try to help them out.
There's quite a bit of rubble. Go ahead, Daphne.
I was just gonna ask if we could spend hit die or if we did not rest.
So that covered 10 minutes. If you would like to spend hit die, you would have to rest for at least an hour, which you can do. Is that what Daphne's doing? Taking a couple moments to rest and recover?
Yeah, might as well.
Okay. So Miss Song is moving about the town, helping people.
Yep.
Ender will help this song
Okay.
with helping people.
Shadow, Valra, what are you guys doing? Valra back from the brink of death. Not feeling great, but not dead at least.
Yeah, she'd probably be going around at least trying to patch people up a little bit.
Yeah, Shadow's just gonna try to do a little bit of light lifting, nothing too crazy.
And I believe it was Hunter who did that large healing spell. They're just kind of sitting by the bridge. So you guys work, and the town itself, for the most of it is built up into the cliff and the chasm that leads down to the shore in Fireshear. But the small warehouse area, and there's like a small market, primarily fish and whatnot. It's fairly well damaged. The market itself has been trampled. There's the buildings closest to the bridge are almost completely destroyed as the giants were tearing through them, and the magic that was wrought there destabilized things. There's corpses, many corpses, too many corpses, and everybody spends some time to recover as well as aid the village of Fireshear. Do you guys just spend all day doing that, or?
Yeah, I'd probably say so.
Okay.
However, which
Yeah.
time is left in the day.
So this takes a while, and as the sun is setting, it seems like, well, at least most of the wounded are taken care of, and taken to Upper Fireshear. Fires are put out and the dead have been hauled away. The giants' heads are now on pikes near the lighthouse, hanging over the shore for anyone to see. And everybody, the town of Fireshear is very thankful. Everybody is kind of really thankful that you guys are helping them and there to save them. Deshara is there along with you guys, and she for at least a couple moments after this, and then she leaves along with her griffins to tend to them. Several of them were very heavily wounded. But she makes it known that you guys are more than welcome to continue sleeping in the rookery with your not your but the pets free of charge for what you've done.
I think that at this point they are our pets. We've bonded.
Well, maybe in name, but not in ownership yet.
True.
Can't they like just rebel and us?
Okay, you have fun starting the Griffin Rebellion.
No, I'm saying the Griffins, not us. The Griffins. Can't they just?
So the sun, is beginning to set, and you guys are kind of drifting northwards towards the smell of a large food line that has been made up. And the wounded have, for the most part, been fed, and some of the workers are beginning to eat. And then you hear some panicked shouting in the distance towards the south. Why don't each of you give me a perception check? So Miss Song and Daphne, you guys hear this panicked shouting at first, down towards the harbor. It's been kind of drizzling off and on all day, and there's a mist that hangs kind of heavy over the bay. And as you guys make your way just a little farther southward to sea, you see what people are screaming about, and there's now, this time coming out of the mists, you see 3 sets of sails. You see the white dragon skin scales that are leading this war party, and the other 2 look to be just kind of dirty canvas and patchwork. And they're making their way pretty swiftly. There's a slight breeze, but you see, there's a good dozen oars out. Each of these ships just rowing as hard as they can. These giants in them now. You guys are able to hear the shouting. One in this center boat, the one that attacked before, is pounding a drum to keep time. What do you guys do?
Right. Well, damn. We had a rough go of it is with the one boat. Just lost 3.
I'd say all of you can see them now.
Evacuate?
You guys have about you guys gauge probably a minute, maybe 2 to react.
Oh boy.
That's not enough time to evacuate. I mean, we have time to
Let's start a
try to
timer.
get in some type of
Set a timer for 1 minute 30 seconds.
battle formation of some sort.
Your timer is set for 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Let's see how this goes down.
Shoot. people? Like how big? Like how many people are in this town? Would you say? Like how big of a town is it?
So the lower town is kind of fairly sparsely populated. The upper town, which is a little better fortified with a series of wooden gates because it's kind of built into a fairly narrow chasm, probably has about 1,000, 1,500 people in it.
Oh, geez, okay.
I could try to see what they want. I do speak giant.
Well, not too sure how well that would go.
All right, so you speak giant, huh? So you hear as these ships move in and get closer to this harbor, the lead giant standing behind this drummer, and he's just shouting in Missong, Delphine. You guys can see fairly clearly. You can't understand what he's saying, but you see that this man is just this giant has several arrows sticking out of his chest, and he's like foaming at the mouth, and he's repeating over and over. Shadow, you hear him saying, "Row, row, row, you fools!" And then all of a sudden, there's some shouting from the ship that's on the leftmost, and it kind of veers to the side, and you guys see behind it this galleon on the horizon. And as 15, 20, 30 seconds pass, this galleon gets a little larger, and then you realize it's above the horizon, and these giants are separating formation as this thing moves over them. You see a couple small figures aboard, quite a few too few than you would expect to normally be running a galleon, and they seem to be throwing things over the side of this that are landing in the water. And then after 3 or 4 tries, one of these things hits this long ship, and it just explodes with fire. Several giants dive over the side, and they're burning. When they come back up, the fire lights right away again, and they're screaming. The center ship continues towards the harbor. You guys have now. Let me reset here, and we'll roll initiative because we're in last seconds for you guys to tell me what is up. There we go. Roll for initiative. After you guys are lucky. After another 4 or 5 seconds, this galleon veers sharply to the side. One of these giants has stood up in the rightmost ship, and a couple of them have organized and tried to throw some of their great axes up there. One of them seems to have stuck in the side of this thing, but to no avail, as several more of these small packages of some sort land on this long ship, and it explodes. A couple of these small figures also fall overboard, and you see the giants that are in the water while they're burning just dive on whatever these are. After that, you don't really have more than a couple seconds to react as this long ship again slams into the harbor. Give me 1 second here. They did not put these on a map. How many giants should there be, guys?
How about less than 3?
So books balanced for 4, right? Right? And there's 5 here. 6 usually. Should I use 12? Give me a second. I'm not that much of a sadist.
You'll say someone could roll a 6-sided dice.
I'll tell you what, I have deleted several giants. Well, more than several. You guys choose who rolls a d4. And I will delete that many more giants from this encounter. And we'll play it a little off book. We'll rebalance it to be a little easier for you. 10
I'll roll
seconds.
it.
All right, roll it. Ooh. May have just saved your lives. Okay. So this galleon, as it rights itself, drops another one final firebomb on the back end of this longship. Good news. It seems to have taken out another 4 giants. You see them jump over the side, screaming. Bad news. It doesn't look like they have any way to retreat now as the rest jump into the water with a roar. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Let me get them all here on the map. Okay. Ander, you're the first to recover from this, so I'll give you guys... So I narrated this for a while, right? And you guys had a while to react. So I'm going to rearrange where the giants are now that you guys have seen them. Assume that the longship is coming kind of from the south towards the middle of this kind of slight U-shape of the harbor. And arrange yourselves as to where you figure you guys would be upon like seeing this go down.
Okay.
Oh, hey, I have a lot more south to play with than I thought. Cool. All right, Ander. You're the first to react as this final firebomb goes off and these giants bail out of this longship. What do you do? What are you doing?
So are they all currently like swimming in the water right now?
They're walking in the icy water. A couple towards the
They're
far
walking.
south are swimming. Ander, what are you doing?
Anders just gonna ready his short swords for now.
Miss Song, you're up.
Okay. Miss Song.
Oh, Miss Song's thing is broke. Yep. I'm gonna have to fix that. Okay.
Wait, where did I put that? Here. Let's see there. Oh, they're still way too far away. I'm gonna ready casting Dissonant Whispers on whichever first one gets into range of me.
What's range on that? Actually, don't tell me. Just shout when one of them's in range. All right.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
The squares are on this one are 5.
5. Yep. Number 4. May likely do that. Speed of 40 feet. Whoa.
Yes, shrink the giants down to our size.
Okay. I had him move a bit less than 40 because he's like walking through the shallow part of this. Number 1 will make it up here. Daphne, you're up. What are you doing? Void?
Oh boy.
It's gonna happen. It had to happen. Hold on to your butts.
I guess I'll cross the bridge and join them.
Okay.
I don't know that I have anything I want to spend power-wise right now.
All right. Number 5 will make their way on shore. Number 3 moves, swims northeasterly. Shadow. What are you
Well,
doing?
I'm gonna try to shoot an arrow at the number 4. Try to draw first blood.
Okay. That arrow flies, and this one was the one that was standing, keeping time, shouting, and he's continuing to shout over and over, "Row, you fools," as he runs in with his great axe at the ready. Number 2 follows in a northeasterly direction. Valra, you're up.
For now, I'm just gonna prepare my mace in case they attack me.
I'm pretty sure Frost Giant 4 is within 60 feet of me now.
Okay. Do your thing. Do your business. Dissonant Whispers.
Damn.
It is too wise for you in this case, unfortunately. Ander. Well, that's a little weird. Did it re-roll initiative? Who knows? Ander, you're up.
I'm gonna move up there. That's
Okay. Miss Song?
Alright. Miss Song is gonna try once again to cast Dissonant Whispers on that same Frost Giant number 4. Damn it.
You crank that hurdy-gurdy for all you got, but it doesn't seem to have any effect. Frost Giant number 3. Continues moving northeasterly. Number 4. Steps up, moves up, climbs, just easily steps over the small, it's a 2-3 foot drop from the pavement down to the water, and he just steps up with ease. You see him, Ander. You're looking up, and water is dripping off of him. There's mud on his boots. A little bit of plants kind of hanging off of his beard. And he looks at you, and he roars, and he hefts his great axe and steps forward. Valra, you're up. What are you doing?
I'm gonna move up a bit, and then I'm going to cast Guiding Bolt on Frost Giant 4.
Valra steps forward, begins saying a holy prayer. A glow emits from beneath her tunic, and a bolt of energy fires forth. Does it strike?
Is it cast or attack?
Let's look. I think it'd be cast. Hit cast. Rather than me looking. There you go. It hit. So now, what level is Guiding Bolt? There it is. So now you would roll the damage and put the effect on the giant. So this bolt fires forward, strikes this giant, and immediately he is outlined in holy light, and he seems to have taken some damage. Daphne, you're up.
Is Hunter here or not here?
Hunter isn't here. Hunter is helping evacuate some of the wounded that were set up along in the devastated marketplace.
Okay. In that case, I will continue running to try and get in range with my throwing whip. And I believe if I dash. Yeah, if I dash, I should be able to come up right next to Valra.
Okay. That's Thorn Whip in range, isn't it?
On the forest.
Oh, you had to dash.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I dash.
Okay. Cool. That brings us to number one. Number 1 and number 5 quickly become engaged in with what is left of the militia that is organized on the southwestern shoreline. Shadow, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm gonna shoot another arrow at Frost Giant 4.
Shadow
I don't know.
fires his bolt. You got advantage because of the guiding bolt.
Oh, okay.
And you would have missed without it. So thank Valra for that, as your arrow kind of wobbles in the air and then arcs directly towards this giant and strikes him, dealing 8 damage. Number 2. Number 2. Good old number 2. Odds are good. Evens are probably a bad day. Number 2 moves towards the south end of the harbor. Number 5 is engaged with some guards and militiamen. Ander, you're rolling very well on initiative tonight. You're up.
Alright, so these are giants, right?
Correct. Why do you need to ask? They're giants.
So, in theory, we could literally run under their legs and get out of their attack range.
You can run under their legs. Yes. You can Yes, but you can get out of their swinging range. You're going to probably take an attack of opportunity coming in, but there's the stomp action. Which I would argue, let me look and see what a great axe is real quick. I mean, I would argue the attack bonus wouldn't be as great on stomping, but I'd say the damage is easily equivalent to the great axe's 3d12 plus 6. I mean, getting stomped on by a giant would be like a fucking elephant stepping on you.
Yeah, true.
But wouldn't it be a slow enough movement to possibly be able to dodge it?
Frost giants aren't like exceedingly dexterous, but I don't think so. I mean, that's getting to like beyond what a game mechanic, at least for a giant, is gonna be able to do for you. So, Andrew, what are you doing?
I will switch to my bow and shoot at Giant 4.
Okay. You know what, Shadow, and the rest of you, you could compensate for slow movement by giving them disadvantage on a stomp attack. Actually, that would make sense. 17 probably gonna hit. Yep. Go ahead and target it, and then roll that damage. Or click and drag. Yep, there you go. You got it. Awesome. 5 damage.
This it's like shooting a barn.
As this, yeah, it's pretty hard. Shadow, you're up. Andrew just fired an arrow at this thing. It looks like it's about ready to just steamroll your 3 party members standing out in the street.
Alright, Shadow's going to kind of dart across these rooftops and jump on top of the giant with his rapier. Try to stab him in the neck.
Give me an acrobatics check with a DC of 15 to see if you manage to jump off of a roof onto a giant. You miss this giant. It ducks down and you fall. Taking 3 falling damage. Delphine, you're up. What do you do?
Thorn whip.
Hold on. Sorry. One sec. Shadow. Action surge from the divine
nice.
entities that be. You have another action. You land to the ground. You take some falling damage, but like a cat, you land on your feet. What do you do?
Run back on top of a building.
Like a cat, he literally is a cat.
So here's the catch, though. Jumping on this giant, you're going to be within attacking range. So if you want to run on top of a building, he's probably going to take a swing at you. You could use this action to disengage from him and be back, like, and not in technical melee range.
Could use my uncanny dodge as I'm running up.
There you go. That's what I was getting at. All right. Rogue's gonna rogue. You guys see Shadow, like, jump off of this roof and kind of, like, flail in the air, miss this giant, barely, land to the ground, and, like, a flurry of movement and kind of moves, disappears into this building. It'll take a little bit of your movement to get up top next turn. Delphine, that thorn whip comes flying out and strikes at this giant. Does it pierce his armor? Never too late.
So.
Never too late.
One sec. Hold on a minute. I hope that's right.
That whip flies out, strikes this giant, pierces his armor. He yelps slightly as he takes 8 damage. Frost Giant 3 moves eastward. Frost Giant 2 steps up onto the pier. 1 and 5 are engaged. Round 3. Deshara appear. You guys hear a screech in the sky. Unfortunately, it's just one griffin this time as you see Deshara flying down from the heights. Valra, you're up. What do you do?
I'm going to cast Command on Frost Giant 4. I'm going to tell him to flee.
All right. It will flee at its speed for 1 round. Directly away from you. Okay. I'll be nice and even make it use, because I would normally forget this, but I'll have it run its dash speed. But odds are probably a bad thing. So this giant turn is listening to your command, Valra, and begins moving at its, fairly slowly, and then picks up speed. There's several militiamen that are kind of bracing at about this point to take him on, and he just, with a fell swoop of his great axe, sweeps them out of the way. One is cut almost in half. The other 2 are knocked out of the way and fairly beaten. But he probably makes it to about there. Miss Song, you're up.
Okay. Let's see. I am going to cast Vicious Mockery on the one at the end of the pier there. Oops.
Yeah, he'd be about right there.
Let me detarget. There we go. Okay. Target you. Vicious Mockery. Yay!
Miss Song cranks at the hurdy-gurdy, and this unsettling tune mocks this frost giant number 2. And it takes 5
My ears.
damage. Number 5 is engaged with others. Valra, you are up first this time. What are you doing now? Number 2 was gonna move away. I was only gonna have him kind of take on 1, but I'll have him take on 2 this time.
I think I will cast Spiritual Weapon on Frost Giant 2.
Okay. You cast, or you call forth. What kind of weapon is it? What's your spirit weapon, Valra? Is it another mace?
I'd say it's kind of a gnarled tree branch.
All right. So you guys see this kind of ethereal tree branch form and smack at this frost giant, striking it. With a grunt, he takes several damages. 5 damage. Number 3 climbs up onto shore and begins sacking this, heading towards sacking this house. You add that spiritual weapon effect to yourself, Valra.
Yeah, hit the wrong thing. How do I take it off of him?
I'll get it. Don't worry about it. Okay, so that brings us to Ander. Ander, what are you doing? This giant just ran away from you, but this other one has now climbed up onto the pier south of you and is lifting his great axe, ready to charge. All right, Daphne, you're up. What are you doing?
Well, he ran. We do not seem prepared for this one, so I'm going to try. Erupting Earth.
So you guys see
Frost.
Daphne turn. What's your spell focus?
Spell focus.
So like there, there's components and then there's like costly components, right? Making players scrounge for, pieces of clay or sticks of incense, isn't really worth it. Scrounging for diamond dust is. So what you do to compensate in the meantime is like, they will have their spell focus. So like wizards will have, their staff, or like I described earlier how Valra's shirt was glowing when she casted the guiding bolt. I was just indicating like the scale maybe being her spell focus because it's in the shape of the deity. So a druid might have like a stick or maybe a bundle of bones and herbs. I don't know.
She actually has a piece of petrified bark or wood from her home.
All right. So you guys see Daphne begin chanting and holds out this piece of you guys have seen this before, this piece of petrified bark, and it begins kind of changing shape and flexing as she molds it in her hand, and the earth or the paving beneath this giant erupts forth, and that makes it like difficult terrain, right?
Difficult terrain, and a creature takes 3d12 bludgeoning damage on a failed save or half on success.
Okay.
Each 5-foot portion of the area requires at least 1 minute to clear by hand. It's a 20-foot cube.
Awesome. Cool. Go ahead and roll that damage, and it should have it for him. Or didn't need to have it because he failed. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So you see this earth. He takes several paving stones that hit him in the legs and stomach, dealing a significant amount of damage.
And I'm casting it between us so that if he wants to keep coming, he's got to go through at least 15 of the terrain.
Like that.
Yeah.
Maybe even like that if you're expert spell placing. I love how it highlights the proper squares for the diamond shape too, if you see that. Anyway, so Deshara, you guys hear the screech of Deshara's griffin, rightly named Screecher, as she flies in, and you hear a shout from above as a crossbow bolt flies and misses Frost Giant number 2. Next Frost Giant up is number 2. So do they take more damage if they try and move through this, or the damage is one time? While you're figuring that out, number 4 turns around and begins to move back towards the party. Several militia members managed to get in front of it and distract it for a little while. Miss Song, you're up.
Okay. Let's see. I'll go ahead and see, that's the only one. See, that range is, he's the only one, I think. He's the only one in range. All right. Yeah, I'll just keep doing vicious mockery on this guy to make sure he keeps being disadvantaged.
Unfortunately, he is wizened to your tune and manages to shake this magic off. Shadow, you're up. What do you do?
He's gonna stay focused on Frost Giant 4. Try to help the militiamen out and shoot an arrow.
Okay. You fire that arrow, Shadow. It strikes this frost giant. For 10 damage, not insignificant amount. Frost Giant number 5 is distracted. We're at the top of round 5. So, for the group, the Frost Giant 1 and 5, the militiamen have managed to damage them a bit. A good amount, actually. Number 4, just having engaged with these guys, I will quarter this. So number 4 is taking a little bit more damage. And number 3 is not having any issues over there. Andrew, you're up. What are you doing?
Ander will turn and shoot an arrow at Frost Giant 2.
Alright. So Andrew turns, maybe drops to one knee, lines up his crossbow, fires, but one of these paving stones from this earth that's still churning flies up into the air and strikes the arrow, causing it to unfortunately miss. Shadow. Well, it's Frost Giant number 3's turn. Let's see here. How are we going to do this? He's attacking... Yeah, number 4. He's attacking militia, but Shadow is engaging with him as well. So I need to keep a little better track of the militia that it is attacking. So, let's quickly... look up the stats for a guard. And we'll have him attack at one of them. As soon as Fantasy Ground stops panicking... Well, he doesn't hit a guard. You guys are lucky. He will be distracted for a while yet. Shadow, you're up. Continuing working on number 4.
Yes, that would be correct.
With a nice bonus, your arrow flies true, strikes this giant for 6 damage this time. Miss Song? Do you continue your mocking tune?
Yeah, we'll keep it going for now while he's still stuck in there. Yay!
Alright, you play your tune. He takes 2 damage, but he seems to be a little off kilter. Valra, do you take advantage of that with your spiritual weapon and strike out at this giant?
Okay, I have a question about the spiritual weapon.
Okay.
So it says the duration of it is a minute, and it costs like my bonus action. So does that mean for that minute on each of my turns, I can use it, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, I wanted to just make sure I understood that.
It's kind of weird, actually, if it's the spell I'm thinking of. What level is it? It's a level 2.
It's one that I get with my cleric domain that doesn't like count against my spell slots.
So the way this is worded, you guys, why don't you tell me how you interpret this? It says, when you cast the spell, you can make a melee spell attack against a creature within 5 feet of the weapon. Then it goes into damage, okay? Then it says, as a bonus action on your turn, you can move the weapon up to 20 feet and repeat the attack against a creature within 5 feet of it. So, does that mean that moving it and attacking is a bonus action, or does it mean that moving it is a bonus action and attacking requires your attack action?
It almost sounds like you can attack, move it, and attack again. Almost.
Well, like the way I figure, like, is I almost, if you interpret it literally, I think that it's reading like you can attack with it as a bonus action, and you have your action, right? Is there a clarification?
From doing a quick lookup on it, the moving and attacking is in a bonus action, so it doesn't use your action.
Perfect.
So you
Cool.
basically get 2 attacks. You can
Yep.
attack your normal attack. You can move the spiritual weapon and attack with it. So yeah, it's all
Awesome. That's what
The
I
weapon
was
would just
thinking.
have to stay within 5 feet of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
They'll just move it around it.
Well, you can
like,
attack with the
in-
weapon twice, but like you attacking with that weapon. Wait, no, you can attack with it twice, then, can't you?
Yeah,
Because
see, that's how it's
doesn't
written.
that mean like
Yeah.
I could hit it in the front, move it to its back, and attack again?
Yeah, or just wiggle it
Yeah.
side to side or
That's how I
whatever.
read it.
Um,
That's how I understand.
You could just, I mean, it's 15 feet high, right? You could just be striking at it, moving up. You know, it's dodging around as you're smacking at it. But yeah, so then you can do that. Have at it. Make those swings. Oh, nice. So as you make this swing, you miss, and you feel disheartened just a little bit. But you have faith, and you call upon your God, and you feel your God's blessing bestowed upon you as you make that second swing and miss, as you get an action surge. So you'll have another, you can swing a third time at this thing. It pays to have viewers as you critically hit with this attack. Roll damage. Hell yes. 14 damage it does as this thwops this giant with a hearty smack on the head. Daphne, you're up next. What do you do?
Crack him with my whip.
That thorn whip reaches out over this difficult terrain. You crack him, dealing 8 damage, which is probably good because he is coming swinging at one of you. Odds are Daphne, evens are Valra. This giant moves the last few feet forward and swings his great axe down on Daphne, Whisper Grove, striking her for 24 damage. You guys hear Daphne scream as this axe rakes across her torso, drawing a significant amount of blood. Dashara responds by firing her crossbow down into the melee, dealing 10 damage to this giant. And then she fires again, and she says, "I've got you, Daphne!" However, she's distracted by encouraging Daphne, and the shot goes wide. Shadow, you're up.
Well, I hear the scream and the crashing of the axe, and I just kind of hop over to the side. And I will use my sneak attack and shoot another arrow at him.
Okay. That sneak attack arrow flies true and strikes this giant. Go ahead and roll for damage. Dealing 23 damage, piercing him through the throat. This giant looks pretty beat up. Again, odds are... What were we last time? Odds are Daphne, evens are Valra, as He swings his great axe down onto Valra this time, laughing as it strikes. You guys see Valra fall to the ground, unconscious. Ander, you're up. What do you do?
Ender will shoot another arrow at
You better get up in melee, buddy. Oh boy.
Since these guys have been hit, would you be getting your Colossus Slayer against these guys? Or is that only melee that you get your Colossus Slayer?
Oh, no, I would.
Awesome. Add that effect so you can damage them a little more. Maybe you can kill this thing before it kills one of you.
Alright, so now I should just roll my attack?
Yep.
Or my damage?
Yep. That arrow flies through, and with all the hate that you can send towards your favorite enemy, dealing 9 damage to it. He's looking like he's, you know, heading towards death. Daphne, you're up.
Daphne is not a tank. So, I will, as a bonus action, cast Healing Spirit on a cleric. Or, no, I think it's where she is. It's not a great spell for this situation.
Oh, you have that one too?
Yeah, that's just all I've got for you.
Okay. You call forth. What kind of nature spirit is this?
It's my polar bear friend.
All right.
My fey polar
This
bear.
ethereal polar bear spawns. It's a small polar bear because it's in a 5-foot cube, and kind of hovers above Valra. Valra, you are healed for 1 hit point.
You accidentally had it on Frost Giant when you did that, so you healed him.
Oh,
I fixed
Let's
her
not
hit
do
points,
that.
and I'm fixing the frost giants right now.
okay, thank you. And then I will. Oh, crap. That's a bonus action. Can I use a bonus action as a standard action?
No,
That's a good question. Oh, okay.
I looked that up. I checked that real quick.
Okay, thanks. And if I move, I'm gonna take an attack of opportunity. Yes?
You could use your move action to disengage and move back 5 feet.
Can that be indeed?
Sure. Let's look. Let's double check.
Yeah,
If not,
for
I got it
disengage is a
back.
thing. I feel like I remember seeing that. Yeah, disengage is a thing.
Yeah, it's an action. Disengage action. You got to take that and your movement. Oh, okay, okay. You can do this. So the disengage is an action. You used your bonus action. You can disengage, and then your movement doesn't provoke opportunity attacks for the rest of the turn. So you'll have your
Okay.
full movement.
I will disengage and go back towards Miss Song as they run, Valra.
Valra, you're up.
Yeah, I think Valor's gonna try to run.
Interesting fun feature about spiritual weapon is it's not a concentration spell, and as such I don't know that it would disappear while you're unconscious. So you could use the disengage action, move your speed, and use your bonus action to attack.
I'm gonna do that.
Nice.
Or heal. If you have any healing that you
That is a bonus action. The healing would have to be a
No.
bonus action. That's the problem. Because
Wait,
she's
doesn't she have the healing spirit sitting on her? That heals at the start of her turn.
I think that's on a location, not a character, because it's a 5-foot space.
Has she already moved away from the animal though?
Oh, well, it doesn't matter because her turn started
yeah.
there.
Go ahead and roll the healing again.
Yeah, because like that's what I used last battle on Ander. I had that my.
I'm trying to give you guys all that I can here. I mean,
We need it.
we deleted
throw, like,
over
5
half of the. No, dude, it wasn't 5, dog. It was 12. Would have been a terrific, epic combat where the party died, all of them. Valra, you get healed for another 2 hit points. As you run away, you're kind of focusing on running, so your thing is swinging blindly, so you're unable to hit, but that's okay. Miss Song, you're up. How far do you move, Valra?
Okay.
Do you just move back like that many feet, or you can move half of your movement speed away because you had to get up?
Yeah, I think I probably would have done the half my movement.
Okay, so move away while Miss Song tells me what he is doing. Miss Song?
Sure. Let's see. I really need to get me a ranged weapon. Ay. No, he's already that. I guess we'll go ahead and cast Shatter on the guy in front of me here.
That should be a half damage, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's
So,
half damage.
this kind of thunderous noise rings out. You see this giant's armor kind of rattle a little bit as he takes 7 damage. Nope, I didn't. Sorry, I will. All right.
I'm sorry, can I interrupt really quick?
Yes.
Did that 2 hit points I got get added, or do I need to fix that manually?
Oh, no, I just rolled a 1d6. I'm sorry. It disappeared from my spell sheet because I'm out of spell slots, so I can't roll it.
Okay. That brings us to the top of round 7. Ander, you are up. Your 2 party members that were standing between you and this giant, both were struck pretty heavily and have now begun to flee. What are you doing?
I'm shooting another arrow at this bastard.
Shoot another arrow. He's going to come swing an axe probably at you. An 18 hits. Dealing 3 damage. Deshara follows. Go ahead, what? Your Colossus Slayer did not apply. You need to apply that again. Go ahead and roll a d8 and I will apply that damage for you. D8. There we go. Dealing 6 damage in total. There we go. Deshara follows in kind, firing her heavy crossbow. Missing. Delphine, you're up.
I will move as a bonus action my
You have-
healing spirit over.
An action surge this turn as you feel invigorated by communing with Earth via the eruptic Earth.
Nice.
Yeah, they need all
I
this help.
think This should work. Hey, finally.
There you go. This polar bear runs through you, Valra, and you feel a little more invigorated than you have before.
Now I will untarget Vala and sword with twice. Can I? No, I can't attack twice, can I?
No. Unless you have two attack. Well, yeah, because you have an action surge. Sorry. Yes, you can attack twice with Thorn Whip.
Oh, cool.
This Thorn Whip cracks out once, striking him twice, a second time, dealing a good amount of damage, 12 damage, and then 4 to this giant. He is not looking super great. You might get out of this one yet, Shadow, if you can fire true before he moves in on Ander. What do you do?
I just shoot another arrow. But it misses.
But it misses, unfortunately. Valra, you're up. What do you do? Double spiritual weapon to the head.
Oh, hell yeah.
It strikes once, dealing 7 damage. He is not looking good at all, Valra. That second one, though, it misses as he lifts his great axe, roaring in his mother language. Miss Song, you are up.
Okay. I will go ahead and. Nope, I'll try again. There we go. We'll go ahead and try Dissonant Whispers.
You play your tune, but unfortunately, in his blind, near-death rage, he manages to shake off the whispers.
Still takes half
But
damage
takes
on that
half damage. This giant, nearly dead, barely walking on his feet, moves forward and swings his axe down at Ander. He misses.
Whoa! You suck. Hey, Ender can speak giant. Ender. Or wait, can he?
While you figure that out, you can let me know next turn. Valra, you're up. What are you doing?
Spiritual weapon.
That spiritual weapon swings twice, missing the first time. That second time, it misses as well. You could swing a third time,
Oof.
thanks to you guys being quite blessed. Unfortunately,
Ah.
it misses. Ander, can you speak giant?
Ender can't.
So you shout in giant, what?
You suck, clumsy oaf.
Oh, they better hope they can kill him. All right.
I'm gonna shoot another arrow at him.
It will. Do you get?
I don't think those rules are in D&D yet.
fire that cross or that longbow, striking this for 10 damage as he falls to the ground dead. Giant number 2 is down. And right here is a fantastic spot to take a quick break. We're halfway through the session. So let everybody get up, stretch your legs, and come back in 10 and we will reconvene. Thank you everybody for watching. We will be right back.
Sounds good.
Stand by and come back for some more giant slaying action in Storm King's Thunder. Thank you so much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's pick this up. All right, guys, ready to go?
Yep.
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 Here.
Let's do this. Ander has just slain Frost Giant 2. Deshara veers Screecher in the direction of number 4. Fires a bolt off. Misses. And that brings us to Daphne. You're up. What do you do, Daphne?
Oh boy. I look at Miss Song and I say, should we start trying to tell people to get out? Seems there are more.
Hey, are you referring to the townspeople or us?
Yeah.
Inclusive
mean-
or...
Yeah, I mean, we should probably try our best to try to get people out of here.
Are there any other people around, or would they be like already?
Like, there, it's been, almost a minute. So there's not a lot of people down here as is, and a good portion of them are cleared out. The ones that are remaining are kind of geared and preparing to fight. Like, the able-bodieds know that this is a do-or-die situation. It's not 100% militia that are holding these other giants off. It's people are dying.
Okay. I guess I will run up kind of in between Ander and Valra. And nope, too far away. I'm going to ready ice knife if he comes within 60.
Okay. Shadow, you are up. What do you do?
I'm gonna jump back over to this other rooftop and shoot my arrow at Frost Giant.
All right, this arrow flies forward at Frost Giant 4, striking true, dealing 10 damage to it. Number 3. I haven't really done much with number 3 in a while, but you guys turn around, Daphne, you look across the stream, and you see number 3 has pretty much sacked one of these houses and has stepped out. He's got a person by that, the long hair dragging them along behind him. Miss Song, you're up next. What are you doing?
All right. I am going to, let's see. Miss Song is going to move up to this corner here so we can see Frost Giant 4 and Vicious Mockery and that dude. Yay! Yay!
Nice. Miss Song steps forward and cranks on the hurdy-gurdy, and that mockery deals 6 damage to Frost Giant number 4. Number 4 has a guard, or civilians still on them. What was the AC we were looking at on that? Guards have actually decent AC at a 16. It swings and it misses this guard. It will kill this guard on a hit, period. But as of right now, it is engaged in melee. You guys see it like fighting this lone, valiant civilian. Miss Song, you're up again. What do you do?
Nice. Let's see how. Okay, way too I'll kind of move up a little bit more, kind of next to Ander here. And let's see here. Yeah, we'll just keep doing it again. I don't really have a whole ton of options. Alright. Woo.
All right, you step forward. You again play this tune that you really haven't stopped playing since the start, and your magic flows true and deals 5 mocking damage to this giant. Valra, you're up.
Squares are 5 feet, right?
Square's 5 feet. Yes, Daphne.
Start of her turn. Heal.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I would argue, hold on, check this out. I'm going to move your token for a second. I would argue that 5 feet square is the size of a token, yes?
You cut out.
I would argue 5 feet square is the size of a token. Does it heal everything within 5 feet? Because, like, moving your token and looking, you could, in theory, be touching all 3 of those people in a 5 foot square. Ander, Valra, and Miss Song. In fact, you are. Roll a heal on all of them. This bear runs forward. Delphine, feeling empowered. By nature, this bear kind of grows a little bit. And each of you feel healed a little bit. Cool. Valra, you're up.
Do spiritual weapon on Frost Giant 4.
All right, that spiritual weapon swings, and it hits. That Frost Giant 4 takes 10 damage, bludgeoning damage. He's still looking like he's got some life left in him, but you know you're working him down. Go ahead and make that second attack, Valra. That swings and a miss, unfortunately. Number 4 swings at this guard that they are engaged with. And they miss. Oh. I've been playing these guys wrong. I hate when I do that. He swings a second time. And he says, "I'm not dumb. I remember I can multi-attack." There we go. And he strikes this guard. Half of him flies into the bay. The other half falls to the ground. And he begins moving towards the group. Ander, you're up. What do you do?
I would say to him, "You're as dumb as the dead boy behind me." And I'll shoot an arrow.
He's within 60 feet.
Yes. Go ahead. When that happens, when you guys have a readied action, I'm tracking a lot of stuff. Remember your readied action? Interrupt me. If I move a giant and like I move on to someone, speak up. That's a time where it's appropriate to interrupt me. This arrow flies forward and he bats it out of the way with his axe as this ice knife flies as well. He swings and hits it. Shadow, does your arrow fly true?
Shadow's gonna jump on him.
Shadow's gonna jump on him. Acrobatics saving throw. Oh. Shadow, you jump. You fall to the ground and take double damage.
Gonna say, don't I still land on my feet?
I'll let you land on your feet, but you rolled a natty 1 on that. Trying to jump on a giant is dangerous work. You take 18 damage. I'll add that here because it's not automatic. Daphne, you're up next. What do you do?
I will move closer and run.
You step forth. You strike over Anders' shoulder. It strikes this giant, dealing 5 damage. Dashara fires a crossbow bolt. Misses yet again and shouts, "I am out of ammunition! I must fetch more!" And she flies off. Up north. That brings us to the top of round 10. Shadow, you're up.
Do you want me just to do the healing thing at the top of the round?
Yeah, sure. That works.
Go ahead, Shadow. Sorry.
Alright, well, since I'm here, I'm gonna pull out my rapier and try to jump and attack. Not like a jump, but try to get more power behind it.
I get it. You just grab it and attack. You swing. You hit. Barely. That additional jumping power there helped you out as you stab, dealing 7 damage to giant number 4. Miss Song, you are up.
Okay. I'll go ahead and
Miss Song continues playing his tune, but the magic has no effect this time. Valra?
Gonna double tap that boy with my spiritual weapon.
One sec here. The duration counter on that is not working. On that spiritual weapon.
Yeah, it was for a
It's
little
not
bit.
working on my heal either.
Huh. Well, so the spiritual weapon was cast on round 4. And then your heal was cast on... While I'm scrolling down, I should see it. Here. Your heal was cast on round 6. Okay, sorry about that. You swing twice with your spiritual weapon. Unfortunately, both times Valra missing. Ander, maybe you can do better than Valra. What do you do? This giant is charging down upon the party. Valra standing at the forefront. Half alive. Well, I guess he's probably turning to engage with Shadow now.
Ender will shoot another arrow.
Okay. That arrow fires off in the direction of Frost Giant 4, striking. Is it enough to kill him? Probably not. Might be. Not quite. It strikes him in the shoulder. He's bleeding pretty heavily. He'll probably die soon, but
And I say,
not
see
quite
that?
yet.
You dumb.
And he seems enraged by this statement. Daphne, you're up.
Thorn Whip.
Thorn Whip. Strikes him, wraps around his shoulder and tears this arrow of Anders out, dealing 12 damage. Dashara continues flying. He roars and he says, "Me not dumb. Me attack twice." Swings down at Shadow, laughs when he misses the first time, and then
dodged.
curses when he misses the second time. Valra, you're up.
Going double tap again.
Okay. Remember that disappears around 14, I think, if it has a 10. Roll that damage as it critically hits. Not quite dead yet. Roll another attack. This one barely misses. Number... 6, 9, 16. Do you do anything else on your turn?
Nope.
All right. Number 4 then swings again, twice at Shadow. Well, twice if he needs to. Only has to hit once, right? And
dodge.
this time misses again 2 times. You guys are pretty good at this. Shadow, it is your turn. What do you do?
I am going to swing my rapier at him again. I'll stab him.
Okay. Stabby McStab. The rapier flies out. This time, unfortunately, missing. Ander, you are up.
Ugh, again? Okay.
What do you mean, oh, again? Like, what else you got going on?
Waiting on the giant's turn, which they never get, apparently. Alright, I'm gonna yell at giant, you're as dumb as you are tall. Shoot another arrow.
All right, this arrow strikes true, and this giant falls to the ground. Number 4 is dead. Miss Song, it is your turn. You look around. You see one giant across the stream who is sacking this house at this time. He's got one person in tow, kind of half stuffed into a large bag, and the other 2 on the western side look to be wrapping up their business with the militiamen.
Uh, I kind of shout to the others, "Let's get the loner," and run this direction around the house.
Okay. Delphine, your turn. Can't hear you, buddy.
Sorry, I'm gonna take off after Miss Song. Head to the bridge. I'll dash.
Okay. Frost Giant number 5 hefts his axe and with a roar moves at his speed along the pier. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80. All right. And then we move to the top of round 12. Miss Song, you're up. What are you doing?
All right. Let's see. I will move onto the bridge here and start vicious mocking this guy. Ah, dang.
Miss Song continues playing this unnerving tune, but it doesn't have an effect on this one, Blind with Rage. Shadow, you are up. Frost Giant bearing down on you, a mere 15 feet away. His axe reaching within about 6 feet of you. What do you do?
Yeah, I'm totally running away. Alright, that's what I'm doing.
Okay. Frost Giant number 5 moves up. 5, 10, 15, 20. He has to dash to get the additional 5 feet to get within range of you guys. Maybe next time. Number 3. Let's roll a perception check. What is perception based on for these guys? Wisdom. 15. Continues sacking this house at this time. Ander, you're up. What do you do?
Okay, wait. Has this guy been damaged?
He's been
No,
engaged
that
with
guy just
militia.
taken
He
it.
looks damaged. It doesn't matter if you just put that on yourself all the time, it will calculate if they're damaged. 17 hits as you fire this arrow off as he hefts his axe to swing it down on you, dealing 15 damage. He looks pretty heavily damaged. The militia did a good work on him. Daphne, you're up next. What do you do?
I'm going to... I don't know. Did the one attacking the house notice us yet?
No, it doesn't seem so.
after-
He's still sacking the house.
Okay. I'm gonna yell at Miss Song and say, "We've got one trailing, gonna hit us from behind." I don't think I can get a line of sight on him.
Seems pretty close. And
30.
Sure.
Okay.
So you fire this thorn whip. It hits him, dealing 10 damage. Frost Giant 1 moves at their speed up the pier. With a roar, he comes charging in your direction. Valra, you're up. What do you do?
A healer.
I'm going to do spiritual weapon on Frost Giant 5.
Okay. You hit, or you swing with this weapon at Frost Giant 5. Once missing. The second time, bumps him. Yep, hits him, dealing some damage. 4 damage. Round 13. Miss Song, you find yourself on a bridge away from your party. A giant near you sacking a house. He may not be aware of you here soon. And then you hear noise and shouting coming from the south. What are you doing?
okay, I'm gonna use my racial trait to run down around here. So dash. Basically a free dash with that. So let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20. Okay, so that'll put me down here by Shadow and Daphne. And let's see, what's the range on this guy? Alright. Gonna need... I'm gonna need a 100-foot radius circle for plant growth that we'll use on these two coming up the pier to try to entangle them a bit. Yeah, so scoot that down and so yeah, there we go.
So
Cute.
Miss Song plays his hurdy-gurdy, and vines sprout up, and rocks or cobblestone breaks apart and is uneven, and that's difficult terrain then for them?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Ander, you are up. What do you do?
Kind of feel like the stupid insult is well worn now, and I can't think of another one, so I'm just gonna shoot my arrow.
Unfortunately, that arrow misses. Valra, it is the last round of this spiritual weapon. What do? You swing it twice?
Oh, hell yeah.
Maybe you can kill it because it looks like it is going to hit probably you. 5 damage as it strikes. The second one swings second time and it strikes him. Will it kill him? 8 damage. Not quite enough. Number 3. Let's see here. Continues sacking his house over here. Number 5, however, roars and seeing his brother over there being so dishonorable, and he shouts in giant, "Join the fight, you filthy mongrel!" And he swings twice. Once at Valra, once at Ander. The strike at Valra hits, followed quickly by a hit to Ander. Valra taking 29 damage and falling to the ground. And he roars and swings down, striking Ander for 22 damage, tearing the axe out of him with the sickening sound of blood and a sucking wound. Dashara flies in at this time and fires an arrow at number 1. Like usual, missing. Number 1 moves difficult terrain, so he can only move half his speed, so 40 feet with a dash. So he moves up behind his brother. Shadow, it's your turn. What do you do?
Oh, Shadow will climb up to about edge of this building to where he can have a sight on number 5 and shoot an arrow.
All right, fire that arrow. That's a sneak attack as you have 2 people, well, 1 person right now engaged in melee and 1 unconscious. That arrow flies right in this giant's eye. He falls to the ground dead. Unfortunately, he has a brother directly behind him. Daphne, you're up.
I was gonna move my healing, but I'm going to leave it there for Valra. If she can hear me, I'm gonna yell, "Get out of there, Valra!" And I will move up behind Ander and Thornwhip giant number. Actually, no. I'm gonna ice knife. And stay back further.
It fails this saving throw, and this ice knife explodes in its chest, dealing a total of 16 damage. He's bleeding. He got roughed up from the guards. So, oh, it didn't deal 16. Sorry, it dealt 8 damage. The explosion didn't seem to bother it. But you're up again. What do you do?
Oh, it's him. Can I do that again? No, it's not worth it. I'm gonna throw him
Okay.
with the other hand.
That thorn whip misses. Valra, it's your turn. I'm going to assume you're conscious because the healing does at least 1 heal. What do you do?
I'm gonna move back because I've had a lot of close calls.
Many of us out.
All right,
Are you
Frost
on,
Giant number 1 steps forward with a roar, moving in on Ander. Swings his axe once, hitting,
Oy.
and you see Ander take 19 damage, and he hefts this great axe again and swings it down,
Oh no.
Fuck.
and you see
Oh, no.
Ander
God damn
fall
it.
to the ground. Dead.
Shit.
Oh. Shit.
Well.
Miss Song, you are up.
Well, that's not good. Fuck. Okay. I am going to cast Shatter on him. Ooh, nice.
Takes 14 damage.
And oh wait, no, that's yeah, Andrew's dead. I can't do anything there. Hey, okay. Damn. That's that.
I think the only one that fared well out of us is Shadow, because he can dodge.
Yeah.
The rest of us just get pummeled into the ground.
I was getting lucky with the misses.
Yeah.
Shadow, you're up.
Aye.
Alright, so would this still be a sneak attack since he was engaged with Ander?
He's not engaged with anybody in melee. I'll give you
Alright,
advantage anyway. You have an inspiration, so you can use advantage,
I was
which
actually
gives you
about to
sneak
say if
attack.
I can use that. Yeah, that's what I was about to ask, was if I can use inspiration for advantage.
There we go.
Wait, what the?
Ignore the chat, but that's...
Alright, so +2, right?
No, it's advantage. So you get a full sneak attack on that, and advantage.
So don't click the +2 on advantage.
No, just click the ADV.
Gotcha. Alright, and I'll shoot an arrow at him.
This arrow flies. It strikes Frost Giant 1. Don't think you could do enough to kill it, but roll damage. Oh, you could. 17 damage. It doesn't seem quite dead. Daphne, you're up. This thing is bleeding quite heavily.
Well, that's a lovely sight. I am still going to back up. And Thorn Whip. Wait, what round is it? 16? I have one more
You have one more heal.
thing left on my heal, so I'll move it over Valra. No, wait. Andrew, I can't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Andrew's dead.
Okay, I'm not going to attack Valra. There it is. Mm. That's all.
Shadow, you are up next. This time,
I
no
will
sneak attack.
Shoot
but-
him with my bow.
Okay. That misses, unfortunately.
Aye.
Number 3 curses in Giantish and begins stomping in your direction. Miss Song, you're up.
Okay. I am going to. Wait, I guess I do have a dagger I can throw. I'll throw this dagger at. Ooh, okay. Something at least.
Good job.
Okay, that dagger flies true, strikes this giant for 6 damage. He is not looking good. Valra, it's your turn. What do you do?
I'm gonna run up to Ander. And I have 4 gemstones in my bag. Hopefully there will be enough to cast Revivify.
You'll need 300 gold. You'll need 300 gold worth of gemstones if you want to try and pull that off. Okay, yeah. 3 of those gems. 3 of those gems will do it. 300 gold worth. So Valra pulls out 3 gems. What does this look like? This is pretty insane here.
It looks like the sun is exploding. It's oranges and yellows and just a big old explosion of color.
And when
How do I put this on him?
It's just a thing that happens, and he gets 1 hit point. So you guys see when this happens, Valra kneeling over Ander. Oh, this is good shit. This is good shit. Ander, you're awake with 1 hit point, and this giant is standing over you and Valra, and it is hefting its axe. What do you do?
Take a shot from the ground and say, you can't, and saying, giant, you can't even kill correctly.
Oh no.
Oh.
You better move, buddy.
8. Valra, in while you bring, when you brought Ander back from the brink, you felt invigorated by your god as well, and were healed for 8 hit points. Stormblood is kind of saving you guys' lives. So this giant
Like Harry.
Steps forward and swings once at Valra. No, he swings once at Ander, laughing as he does, and says, "Let's see if your gods can bring you back this time."
Come on.
And it strikes Ander for damage. I don't know. That should have. You only had 1 hit point, so that should have killed you.
Says heavy though.
So when I healed him, I did a wrong number or something. You guys see Ander fall to the ground now, unconscious, and then the giant turns its second attack on Valra, hitting Valra for 29 damage. Valra falls to the ground. You hear Screecher in the air screech, and its call is answered in turn by several more from the sky as they appear to be descending in the direction of this frost giant on the bridge. Miss Sung, you're up.
Okay.
Wait, what about me?
Yeah, what about Shadow? It said turn Shadow and then it
Sorry,
turned me.
Shadow, you're up. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Alright, well, seeing them drop, I just jump again. With my rapier out.
All right. You jump down with your rapier. I'll give you advantage on this this roll. I imagine your adrenaline's flowing a little bit, Shadow, as you see two of your fresh teammates fall.
So just go with the attack roll.
No, you need to if you're jumping, I'll give you advantage on that dex or that acrobatics check. So roll it. Basically roll it once. If you fail, you can roll it again. Or clicky the button. Okay, so that makes it. You land on this giant and you stab at it with this rapier. Unfortunately, its thick hide manages to just bend this rapier. Miss Sung, you're up. What are you doing?
Driving me. Oh. Miss Song is.
Yeah. I will give that,
Alright, Miss Song is going to. Wait, that's not a wall. Let's see here. Yeah, I guess we'll, yeah, I'll do... Shatter on
Dissonant.
him.
Oh, you.
Or wait, no, that's Dissonant Whispers. I guess I'll do Dissonant Whispers. That works. Picked the wrong thing, but that's fine.
So this kills him. Tell me how that looks. Tell me how it looks when you kill someone with Dissonant Whispers.
That's a good question. We'll say, so, as this song plays out here, this giant kind of reaches up, kind of clapping his hands on either side of his head, just kind of screaming in pain from this. And, as he falls to the ground next to us here, it looks like his eyes burned out.
Okay. I like it. Valra? Give me a death saving throw, please.
Nope, healing. It's my last round of healing. I think. It was round 6.
I almost won tonight.
Oh, come on. I'm probably gonna roll a 1.
Even if it's a 1,
Wait,
this bear
status of Ander?
this bear brings both Ander and Valra back from the brink. You guys collapse in exhaustion as you turn to see the griffins tearing this last giant on the bridge to pieces. Even the several of them are bandaged. One of them is on the ground. He can't even fly, and they're all over him, just tearing him up. And Ander and Valra open their eyes. Wow. Good job, guys.
Skin of our teeth. 12 giants.
And I only almost died 5 times.
Fuck giants
I
forever.
did die.
Yeah, then I brought you back, and that immediately went to shit.
You brought. I mean, he was dead. That outright killed him. That was cool. You negated a player death. Good job, Valra. That was
It's
good.
actually the first time I've seen that.
I've been sitting here, I was sitting there, I was like, alright, I'm gonna have to make a new character. I'm starting to think of this new character, and then you bring me back, so,
You're
I also
welcome.
thwarted that.
You guys, I gotta say, the credit system definitely worked in your favor tonight. I know he works with us, but he's, you know, he plays the music and he's not really actually involved. So Stormblood there basically kept you guys going with those action surges. We missed one on Shadow, but other than that, we nailed all of them tonight.
Can you give him that credit
Yeah,
back
I'll
for
give
that
him
last
back.
action surge? Alright.
But yeah, this is a great place. Like, what, you know, this is kind of the end of the session, but real quick, like, let's just start here. Shadow, what is going through Shadow's mind right now at the end of all of this? What's going on?
Shadow's just pretty much at a loss for words right now. Mainly just from all the destruction. And watching people die multiple times in one day.
Daphne?
I think Daphne just collapses on the ground and kind of like sprouts some flowers and goes to sleep. She's very tired.
Okay. Valra?
Well, Valra's exhausted, and she's kind of got a mix of emotions. And she's, of course, saddened by the destruction and death, but also kind of feels pretty proud of herself, feeling pretty heroic. You know, she almost died several times, but she gave it her all, and you know, she brought Ander back, and she's feeling pretty damn good about that.
How about you, Ander? I'd like to thank everybody for coming tonight. This was a great session. This was a great session.
Giants. Goddamn hate giants. Bastards.
Maybe you shouldn't taunt them so much.
How about you, Miss Song?
Alright, I'll taunt you.
This song. Hey, Miss Song kind of agrees. Miss Song kind of agrees with Andrew. He's actually kind of pissed. Kind of sick of seeing friends die, or almost die, or whatever the heck to these giants. He's kind of mad.
I get it. I get it. That was a tough fight. That was really tough. All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming. We're going to go ahead and raid our official Heroes Wanted stream, DM Catalyst, who's also running Storm King's Thunder, basically right in this area. Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, okay.
No, I didn't. I was chatting to the stream and I needed to
Setting up a
paste
raid.
something. And so I held... Control is my push to talk. So I hit Control V and it caught what I was saying while I did that. But yeah, thank you. I mean, you guys did phenomenal tonight.